In this video, we're going to be breaking down a billion-dollar e-commerce brand. I'm going to be showing you their customer acquisition strategy through paid ads, everything they're doing really well, from their ad creatives to their landing pages to their website itself, and really just explain the strategy behind this and how you can start applying it to your own business today. So if you're a new viewer here, my name is Jordan Hayes. I run a marketing agency. I've been in the ads game since 2016. And what we do at my agency, myself and my team, is we help e-commerce brands scale. We do a bunch of different things, but really we're focused on both the customer acquisition and customer retention side. And on my YouTube channel, I try to share as much value as I can in terms of the strategies that we're using, the strategies that other brands out there are using, because we're always looking at the brands that are doing the best, and we're modeling off of those brands to help our own brands grow as well, right? So there's always things that we can learn from the brands that are crushing it out there. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the video. So first thing before we dive in, I guess just to show you guys some proof that I can speak to the concept of growing and scaling e-com brands. This is one of our clients in the last 90 days, generated over $2.5 million in revenue. And yeah, with that said, let's get into the details. So the brand that we're going to be covering today is a brand called Wayfair. Now, chances are you know this brand, and they're actually a public traded company, right? So they're on the stock market. And you can see, December 2024, they did $3.12 billion in revenue just in December. Very, very, very big e-com brand. And yeah, it's exciting to look at, what these guys are doing really well because they're operating at, the highest scale. So yeah, let's dive into it. First thing I want to do is I want to look at the ads. Always starting at the beginning of the paid ads strategy, which is ads, right? They're running 9,000 ads on Facebook and Instagram on Meta. Now, the mix of ads is, as you can imagine, very, very dynamic and very broad. They have a good mix of different types of ads, everything from their dynamic product ads, things like these, right? If someone is browsing this product, you just show the image of the product. Very, very common in furniture as well to do that. And just keep in mind that this brand has thousands and thousands of SKUs, so thousands of different products. So the DPAs, when you have that, work really well because the spread of the products that you have and trying to target different people based on what they looked at is very, very difficult to do. So you can use DPAs, dynamic product ads, to help you do that. Now, aside from the DPAs, they have a lot of static images that just show products and simple headline. Now you can imagine when you're producing creative at such volume, you need a templated format to be able to produce that, right? Because otherwise it becomes a mess. And maybe you're not running 9,000 ads or not planning on running 9,000 ads at this time, maybe in the future. But I think, this principle can still apply to a brand of any size, meaning, yes, you can test new concepts, but once you have a winning format, use that, leverage it, squeeze as much juice out of that as possible, because it's going to make your process of creating ads and finding winners much more seamless. So we can see that this is an example of a templated static image, and then we're going to watch some videos where you see that there's the same structure that applies. So 7-second video ads, right? We'll have a look at another one. So they're just creating some movement, right? That's it. 7 seconds, and they're just creating movement. We'll see some more here. This one, they've added some text, right? And that's it. 7 seconds. Okay, exact same format. Now, I will say that these style of ads, they work really well for products that don't need a lot of explanation. You're selling me a sofa, I know what a sofa is, I know how it works, right? I don't need to be convinced on, some crazy, technology, unless the sofa has that technology, right? If you were bringing something completely new to the market, where the sofa has massage setting and whatever, right? Heating and cooling, whatever it is, then yes, of course, you want to create ads that describe that and explain that and educate the user on that. But if you're selling products that are very, I guess you could say, commoditized in a way, these sort of just show the product. This works really well for apparel as well, just show the product. You're really just trying to create some aspiration in the customer's mind. You're trying to future pace them to a state where they have your product in their home, or they're wearing your product, or eating your product. That's just what you want to convey in these ads. Okay, so we see another one here. You can get the idea of how these work. So let's move on to a different style of ad they're running. And even the billion-dollar e-com brands, they're using and running UGC. So if you ever needed more proof that UGC works and it's the way to go, to convert cold traffic into customers. Here's your proof, right? So we're going to watch some UGC ads. We're also going to talk about the strategy specifically to the UGC they're running.
Some of my favorite vintage style pieces in our home are actually from Wayfair. With things like lighting, frames, rugs, it can be really hard to find.
So notice the contrast between the very professional polished style videos and this one where it's clearly shot on an iPhone, right? It's kind of shaky. The quality isn't like amazing, but just someone talking over the video saying here are the pieces in our home.
Those in the vintage style that we love, but are also good quality pieces that will last. So for those things, I always turn to Wayfair.
Okay, so very, very simple ad. Let's watch another one. So again, quality is not the best, and it's really just showing, not selling. Show the product, show it in the home. This is especially for furniture. You want to show the product in the home. You want to style it, and it works again for apparel and clothing. If you style it, get ready with me, shop the look, all these things. They work really well because again, it creates aspiration. The customer starts to future pace themselves and in their home and saying, wow, this could actually work really well in my home. So that they start. It's not so much a question of do I need this product? It's well, tell me more of the details. When does it get delivered? Is there a return policy? Is there a guarantee? All these things, right? So it just shifts the conversation that the customer is having in their own mind. And one thing I want to mention as well is Wayfair is doing whitelisting. So another point, whitelisting works, right? It works for brands that are doing 100K a month. It works for brands that are doing $1 billion a month. You see here a House of Brooks, Mint and Pine. These are all whitelisting ads, right? They're not being served from Wayfair, they're being served from this creator. Now, the reason why these ads work so well is because they're native, meaning when you see this on your feed, it does not look like an ad at all. You're seeing it from a creator, it's someone, it's a person, right? You can trust a person more than you can trust a faceless company. And it works really well because the customer, when they know something is an ad, the barriers go up. Now it's okay, this is an ad, I'm being sold to, and it's much harder to have that conversation. However, if they see something that's a little bit more native and catches them off guard in a way, then you can kind of get through that unconscious barrier in their mind that this is not an ad and sell them on the product. It's the age-old influencer marketing tactic, but using paid ads and whitelisting to amplify that. So quickly on whitelisting, we have this document about whitelisting. What is whitelisting? Really the whitelisting 101, how to set it up, how to test. If you want this document, just let me know, comment down below and I'll send you this document. Basically, we go through what it is, as I mentioned, but also how to structure whitelisting agreements. This is really, really important because you want to make sure that the agreement, the structure is set up for success on both sides, right? Of course, you want the right terms on your side, but the creator also is going to want the right terms on their side. So it's about finding middle ground, making sure that you have things like non-compete clauses, all that stuff, how to structure the fees. Do you compensate per video? Do you compensate in return for a product? Different things. How to actually set it up in Facebook and Instagram, and have another video on whitelisting ads. I'm going to link that one below, so you can go and watch that in your own time. I'm not going to take up this video with going through this, but yeah, just wanted to make just to show you, as I mentioned, if you want the template for this, just let me know. I'm happy to send it over. So yeah, let's look at a few more ads.
Wayfair really took my space from this to this.
Okay, a classic hook, right? I went from this to this, before and after state. And this can work for anything. Let's just say you're selling a supplement that helps with bloating, right? How I went from this to this, bloated state to not bloated state. You can think of pretty much any use case that hook could apply. It's a universal hook that works, right? So take this hook, apply it to your brand, start testing it.
If your entryway looks like a tornado of shoes, you need this Grab shoe storage cabinet. It holds up to 16 pairs of shoes, more if you've got.
Okay, and then you're just showing the use cases. For something like this, with furniture, you're showing features, and then you could talk about benefits. Maybe something like this, with the fact that it's organized. When new people come into your home, it looks a lot cleaner. It's not cluttered everywhere. You could even say, you're teaching your kids organizational skills, right? So the benefit of the benefit.
You've got kiddos running around, and it was just the style I was looking for. Obsessed is an understatement.
Okay, so again, very, very simple ad. So more of a high production polished ad. And hopefully, by watching these ads, you can see the mixture, right? The variation of ads, how diverse it is, because different customers are going to respond to different things, right? Some customers want to see the highly polished professional ads because it increases perceived value. Other customers want to see like, how does it actually look in a home? The raw, like TikTok style, like show me how it looks in your home, like unfiltered style, right? And different customers are going to respond to different things. So you want to have variation and that diversity of the style of creatives that you're running to appeal to those different micro segments of your customer, your demographic, your total addressable market. Okay, so before we move on to the landing pages, I just want to show you guys as well, just in terms of like ad creative strategy and how to actually, I guess, come up with these angles. Now, again, this is like a mega document that I've made, really that mirrors and explains what we do inside my own agency for our own clients. Again, I'm not going to go through all of this because we'll be here for a while. If you want this document as well, let me know down below in the comments. I'll happily send it over. But basically, we have a process of producing ad creatives that starts with research. We come up with angles, we produce the creatives, we test, we get data, and then we either iterate or go back to the angles on the drawing board if it doesn't work. So that's really the process. Of course, we have a research process that we go through. Again, I'll link more videos in the description down below of like specific ad creative strategy to go through this and show you guys direct response principles, core angles, like creative production, like how do we actually do that, how do we structure it, and actually how do we test creatives. We have a lot of consumer psychology principles that we apply, from Life Force 8 Desires, 7 Principles of Persuasion, 5 Stages of Customer Awareness, how to do research specifically. And actually, I'm going to be releasing a video soon that goes over how to do research and how to produce creatives with AI, right? So how to save time, how to find more winners with the help of AI. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be coming really, really soon. Okay, so we have modular ad design. We have like some proven frameworks, as I mentioned. Like these are hooks that you're going to want to start applying, like problem advocate solution. 3 reasons X helped me, 3 reasons Y is another great one. How I went from this to this, right, as we just spoke about earlier. Did you know, right, less aware education. How I did X without Y, so how you achieved the end result without the sacrifice. If you're tired of / suffer from problem, watch this, right? Another one, why I'm throwing away my failed solution for this. Stop conventionally accepted activity solution to create some polarizing statements, all right? So those are just some examples of hooks. More copywriting principles, again, like we could spend a lot of time going through this, but if you guys want the document, just let me know. So let's dive into the landing pages. Now, an interesting thing with what this brand is doing with their whitelisting ads, where they're showing ads from specific whitelisting creators that they're running with, they're actually driving that traffic to a page that is kind of like a collab page, right? Wayfair and Irina Mizukin. Now, the reason why this is important is because it creates congruency, meaning they just saw an ad from this person. They already know, maybe they like and maybe even start to trust this person. And when they come to this page, you don't just want to say, okay, like this is Wayfair, because it's a little bit like out of context. However, if you include the name of the person that they just saw, then it softens the blow a little bit more. And I would go so far as to even add an image of that creator so that there's congruency. It's even like an image of them with your products, right? That's similar to what they saw in the ad, to create even more familiarity when they come to the page, to reduce bounce rate. So obviously they're showing the products that the creator showed, we just watched this ad, right? With the full length mirror, there was a tree on the side, it just creates congruency as well. Like if you're showing some products and then you're sending someone to a page, you want to make sure that they can access the products easily. Now, if you're showing multiple products, you want to have these curated collections pages. And this is something that I'm seeing a lot with Wayfair, is that, with Jenna Allen, they have these 3 items, curated collections pages. And the reason why, these work so well is because when you find a template of landing page or destination that works really well for you, that converts really well, you want to use that over and over again and apply it to the specific ad angle that you're running. So you want to create that congruency, but you don't always want to have to like reinvent the wheel and create new pages all the time. So if you find a structure, like a page structure that works for you, like a 5 reasons why listicle, for example, or a curated collections page like this, with like a simple title and a simple description, then you want to reuse that over and over again, right? Just like your ads where you're creating those like templated structures, the same with landing pages, you're going to be able to move a lot faster and create a lot more individual funnels for your customers when you do that, okay? So, some CRO principles on, this collections page, of course, high quality product images, and then following a same structure when it comes to the explanation and the layout of information here as well, right? So we have, the headline, we have, the brand specifically by the brand that made it, we have the review styles, the price, the savings on the prices of a strike through, and then free 1-day delivery, get it tomorrow. A lot of principles that you would see on Amazon that this brand is applying as well. Customers want to know when they can get it. Free delivery, of course, you want to make that known, strike through pricing, discounts, and of course the reviews as well, when you can actually get it. Like all these things are really, really important. If you have swatches, make it easy for the customer to browse through different swatches on this page as well. So we're seeing that, it's very consistent and congruent across the website. Now, This one is more of a like wider, I guess, collections page where they're showing like more products, but in a specific category. So it's these kind of like sofas, I guess these armchairs, recliners that they are showing, but you can see that the same structure is here in terms of the information that goes under the product. And yeah, again, very, very like conversion optimized. You can add like these little labels to your images as well, like spring savings. You can add like bestseller, Wayfair verified, I guess is just like another like verification symbol, but you know, obviously this is like prime real estate. You want to use this to the max. Something else for your collections pages, especially if you have a ton of items, you want to make it very, very easy for the customers to find what they're looking for. The way you do that is by filters, right? You want to have comprehensive filters, but you don't want to have like too many where it's overwhelming. So this is a good example where, you know, there's not a ton of filters, but we have what we want, right? We have the category, we have the color, price, brand, customer rating, special offers, availability. That's what we need, right? We don't need anything more. You could even probably narrow this down even further. But the whole thing is like, how do you make the customer experience as streamlined as possible? Now, looking at the product pages, we can see that the product page follows a very simple structure, a structure that you would see across a lot of e-commerce brands, nothing out of the ordinary. But you know, there are, again, some simple conversion principles that you can apply to your own brand here as well. For example, the free one-day delivery, like just what that we saw on the collections page, you want to have the same information on the product page, because if you're showing that on the collections page, but it's not then repeated on the PDP, then customers might say, well, like, is it actually one-day delivery? I saw it on one-day delivery, but it's not saying it here, so I don't really know. Like, again, think of Amazon, right? On the product pages on Amazon, they tell you when you're going to get the product, right? If you can do that, and even an estimate, you're going to get it between this day and this day. That's going to be a lot more powerful than just having nothing at all. So that's really, really important. Swatches as well, like if you're going to display swatches, especially colors, show the colors, right? Of course, you want to have the name of the color. Even like for some products, like in apparel, accessories, where we have different colors, we don't necessarily like have the name of the color, right? We just show the swatch, because, you know, unless they're like very complex colors and there's like a ton of them, then it doesn't really make sense to show the name. This brand, you know, is doing it, you know, maybe it's working for them, but yeah, just you have options there is really what I'm saying. Add to cart button, you know, notice how the colors are very like consistent, conversion optimized, but it's on brand. It, you know, gives you this like elevated feel that, you know, you can trust this website. And then, you know, some upsells on the product page also like work really well. Like if you can add another product that would complement this one or something similar that you think the customer would like, give them a simple way to add that to cart on the product page. Of course, you know, the gallery here, like one way that I would improve this gallery is adding, you know, some infographics to really display more of the features, and maybe, you know, reiterate some of the promises around like shipping and returns and guarantee or warranty, just to, you know, reiterate that in a place, you know, where the customer is going to be scrolling through. You're going to have that prime real estate. You're going to have the retention. Description is, you know, these are all like in organized accordions, right? Which is really, really important to, you know, if all this information was on the page, it'd be way too much information. The customer might be put off by reading that much. So by giving the customer the option to, you know, contract and expand, it makes it much more organized and cohesive. So of course, they have a lot of different like products that you can shop, but eventually, you know, you get the reviews here, you get images of customers posting, you know, the product in their home, which is, you know, really, really powerful, especially for apparel, especially for furniture, like visual products that people need to see. Like actually, how does it look in the home? Because seeing, like, similar to the ads, right? You want to see like the professional style, but you also want to see the real unfiltered style, and that's what you get, you know, with these images in the customer reviews. So if you can do that, for sure, do that. It makes it, you know, look more real to the customer. Okay, so when we add the product to cart, we get this little pop-up window before we actually get taken to the cart, and that's add protection, enjoy peace of mind. So this is like protection on the product itself, right, to avoid wear and tear, get repairs, and it, you know, it's a very simple way to upsell customers, and this is like pure profit, right? It's basically insurance, right? And if you know anything about insurance, it's all about probabilities and knowing that, okay, like if 1,000 people take this, the reality of us, you know, actually having to repair and the cost of that is, you know, this much. So you put a price, and that's really, you know, how insurance works. So this, you know, is a great way if you can do this, especially if you have like electronics, if you have things that, you know, you could add a warranty to, then it's always a good idea. So let's just say add protection. You know, protection has been added, and then it opens the cart as a side cart, right? Now, all the big e-com brands are doing like the side cart, this cart drawer, and they're not taking you to a cart page. The reason why is because it makes it easier to switch back and continue shopping, right? We're not redirecting them to another page. It loads much faster, and, you know, they can check out from here as well. So it really gives you a lot of options to work with. Now, within your cart, a few basic things. Of course, you want to show what's in the cart, but you also want to have upsells in the cart, right? You want to have, this is another opportunity where you have the customer's information and they've just added a product to cart, meaning they've just made a commitment, right? You just got them to say yes. Once you get people to say yes and commit to something, it's much easier to get them to say yes to the next thing. So you can start to add in, some upsells in here, right? Just like this brand has done. We also recommend this entryway table, which we saw on the product page. They can easily just choose the color, and they can add this directly into the cart itself. There's also some upsells around like add professional assembly, right? Which is another way, especially if you do like furniture or even like electronics. As I mentioned, it's like an easy upsell. So that is a breakdown of Wayfair, $1 billion e-com brand, their process strategy for acquiring customers through paid ads. We went through the creatives, we went through the landing pages, we went through the whitelisting stuff, we went through the conversion optimization, both on the product pages, the collections pages, but also in the cart itself. Hopefully you learned some things in this video that you can apply to your own brand. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.